by any sense. We need to get more pass rush, and
what did he just say? What did John Gruden just say? Did he just say he needs more pass rush? Oh no. What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB. This is not an MLB recap. This is the first attempt at what I'm going to call the NFL recap. So to all of my viewers who normally are here for my baseball recaps, I promise you guys they're not going anywhere. I will still be coming out with one every single day, but on Tuesdays, I'm going to recap the last week of football. So I hope that you guys don't go anywhere because honestly, they're going to be a lot of fun. And if you guys don't enjoy it, you don't have to watch it. I'm not going to force you guys to, but to all my real fans out there who would watch any video that I post, I want to say I love you guys. So the way that we're going to structure these videos is we're going to go from the Monday games to the Thursday games back to the Sunday games, just because, you know, you guys might not remember what happened on Thursday. So we'll cover that real quick. So let's get back into the video. So without further ado, we have to jump into the first story, and we obviously talked about it in the first clip of the day. The Raiders faced off against the Rams yesterday, and yeah, it was a kind of a weird game. In the press conference, obviously John Gruden, you know, it's been a while since he's been in the league coaching, and you just can't say that after Matt Carr throws 3 interceptions and not a single touchdown. You can't say that you need more pass rush after you trade Khalil Mack away to the Bears. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the Raiders actually didn't play too bad. I know a 33-13 score is a little bit misleading, but in the first half, they were playing very well. Jared Cook, the wide receiver on the opposite side of Amari Cooper, he went for 180 yards, so the guy went off. But when you have Todd Gurley on the opposite side of the field and he goes for 108 yards, then he has 59 receiving yards with a touchdown, and then you have Jared Goff with 0 interceptions and over 233 yards and 2 touchdowns, you're never going to win that game, especially if you have Derek Carr throwing 3 picks. So we'll see how the Raiders come back. John Gruden has been known for his scheme, so we'll see if he can come up with a little bit more sacks and a little bit more pressure on the quarterback in next week, because honestly, Todd Gurley and Jared Goff, they had all day to do their thing. If you guys do not have a Twitter, the Jets versus the Lions game yesterday needs to be the reason why you sign up for it right now.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ninja. I'm going to be at the Lions versus Jets game, watching the Lions take the very first win of the season, going 1-0. I'm looking for my boy Matthew Stafford to go huge like he always does. Hopefully he doesn't need to do it in the fourth quarter.
Ninja, the biggest Twitch streamer on planet Earth, was at the Lions game yesterday. He was out here tweeting that they were going to win. Yeah, sorry about that, buddy. You didn't win. Now, the biggest story, obviously, from yesterday is Mr. Sam Darnold. Now, the first play of his NFL career, he threw a pick 6, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, here goes the Jets. He's the next Mark Sanchez, but he actually had a really good game. He was able to come back and throw a couple touchdowns, and I'm pretty sure that the score was 48-17, so the Jets, they looked really, really, really good yesterday, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep it up, but honestly, in my heart, I feel like Sam Darnold is a true leader, and he's going to carry them to at least 7, 8, 9 wins. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. How many wins are the Jets going to get this year under Sam Darnold? Another big part about that game was Isaiah Crowell. Now, I wish he would have stayed with the Browns because I feel like the Browns could have used him. But Isaiah Crowell, I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but he could straight up fly. So those were the 2 Monday games. So now we're going to go back in time all the way to the Thursday game, which was the Falcons versus the Eagles. And this was a bad game to watch, man. It was like watching paint dry. My 2 biggest takeaways from that game was the fact that the Falcons had horrible play calling. There was a point where there was a 5-play stretch where Julio Jones was not in the game. I'm not sure if it was something scheme-wise with the running backs because they have a lot of threats back there, but you cannot have Julio Jones out for 5 consecutive plays. You can't do that. And on the other side, the Eagles defense, they played extremely well. We'll see if Matty Ice can turn it around because we know he has an MVP season under his belt, but ever since that Super Bowl loss, it seems like he's not been the same. The Browns versus the Steelers. Oh boy, this was a game. Now, the good news about this game to you Browns fans out there is the fact that they did end their losing streak, but it came with a tie. Honestly, I can't remember the last time where a team had 6 turnovers and still were unable to win the game. So Ben Roethlisberger played like straight trash. I mean, I like Big Ben. He's a great guy. He's cool. I mean, maybe not the greatest guy in the world, but he's a good quarterback. 4 interceptions, 6 turnovers total for the Steelers. James Conner went off, and I love James Conner because he is a cancer survivor. Le'Veon Bell is holding out right now, so Conner has to step up, and he did. But yeah, I don't even know what to say at this point. Tyrod Taylor is a fantasy stud. If you guys have him on your team and you're not a Browns fan, I'm sure that you guys were really happy. But when you go 15 for 40, I think that's 38%. If I do the math right in my head, it might be 38%. I'm not too sure. But you cannot go 15 of 40 and have the #1 draft pick sitting right behind you and expect to keep playing games. So guys, the second question of today, how many games do you think Tyrod Taylor has left, or Tyrod Taylor, however you say his name? It's pretty much both at this point, but how many games do you think Taylor has at the starting quarterback position? Remember how John Gruden was talking about how they need pass rush? Yeah, so the guy that they traded, Khalil Mack, he went off against the Packers.
4 wide here on 3rd and goal. Again, the pump fake, and this time he will get sacked, lose the ball, and Mack took the ball away.
So he only had 1 sack, so people are probably thinking, you know, why is that so great? How did he go off? Well, he also had an interception and a forced fumble, so he was effective in every single stretch of the imagination on the defensive side. So you would think that the Bears have a pretty good chance of winning when Khalil Mack does that, and then especially if you factor in that Aaron Rodgers went out with a knee injury, you would think that the game's over. Nah. If you ask my boy Stephen A. Smith over here, yo, Stephen A. Smith, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers?
He's a bad man.
So yeah, that bad man did the bad things, and he came back in the second half and he won that game. I don't know how he makes some of these throws. I hope that I can find some clips because I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'll show as many as I can. But Aaron Rodgers, I don't think there's a better quarterback in the league right now in terms of talent. We all know Tom Brady is probably the greatest, the most accomplished quarterback. But the Patriots versus the Texans, this was a fun game to watch because obviously Deshaun Watson's coming back from an injury, so we'll see if he's doing his thing. But he looked very average, I will be honest with you. Now, Tom Brady, he did go for 277 with 3 touchdowns, including 1 to Gronk. Gronk went off yet again. But I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think that Deshaun Watson's going to be good going forward? Do you think it was just an off game for the Texans, or do you think the Patriots are the real deal? And when I say Patriots are the real deal, I mean in terms of their defense, because if the Patriots play this way every single game, they might have a chance of going to yet another Super Bowl. I think that would be a 9 in the Tom Brady and Belichick era, which would be crazy to watch. The Giants versus the Jags. This was also a game that I had my eyes on because it was Odell Beckham coming back from injury and Jalen Ramsey, one of the better, maybe the best cornerback in all football, going against each other. And I would say that Odell got the better of him, but the Jaguars still won, so I think it kind of cancels out, to be honest with you. Saquon Barkley also went off, so I don't think that's a good sign for the Giants when you have Odell go over 100, you have Saquon Barkley go over 100, and you still lose the game. The biggest 2 reasons why I think the Giants were unable to get the win is because Eli Manning, I'm not sure if you can trust him this late in his career, and also Eric Flowers. If you guys don't know who Flowers is, he's an offensive lineman. He might be one of the worst football players in the league right now. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm not calling for his job. I never talk about another man's money, but the guy, he can't play football.
Over here, it causes Eli Manning to have to step up, try to make it like an emergency throw. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, and they don't.
How bad does your backup have to be if Eric Flowers is still starting in the game? So they're gonna have to figure something out with that line, because if Flowers does this day in and day out, yo, the Giants, they're gonna be in for a long season. So coming up next, we have the Cowboys versus the Panthers, and this was a weird game because it was I don't know if the Cowboys were trying to show off Dak's arm and show that it's his team, because Ezekiel Elliott, he only got 15 touches for 69 yards. Dak was not very good. Cam Newton pretty much ran all day against them with a rushing touchdown, and that's pretty much what won the game. Cam Newton's legs, and then Dak Prescott, he didn't look very good with his arm. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. You got to give Zeke 30 touches a game, and that's really the only chance that you're going to have at getting a W nowadays. And I guess I'm going to turn it back to you guys because the Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott dynamic is so weird nowadays. So do you guys think that the Cowboys should be a mainly passing team and just give Dak Prescott the ball and just shove it down the middle of the field at all times, or do you think that they should give it to Ezekiel Elliott, let him bounce back and forth and get 30 touches a game? I'm actually curious to what you guys have to say. And then the last game that we're going to go over in depth is the Vikings versus the 49ers. And honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game is that Kirk Cousins and that Viking defense, they are going to be scary going forward, like downright scary. And also Jimmy G, as people call him, I call him Jimmy Garoppolo, guacamole, I don't know how to say it. He had 1 touchdown to 3 picks, and honestly, he did not look that great. So I have to chalk it up to just maybe it's just a rusty game. It's the first game of the season. They're only 0-1, so it's not like the end of the season or anything like that. But Jimmy G, not looking so good. The Vikings and Kirk Cousins, really good. All right, guys, so the games that I did not cover, we're going to go over the scores real quick. So the Bengals beat the Colts 34-23. The Ravens slaughtered the Bills 47-3. The Nathan McPherson experiment is not going so well. Like I said, the Buccaneers beat the Saints 48-40. The Titans were unable to beat the Dolphins 27-20. The Jaguars, obviously they beat the Giants, and then we can see the Chiefs. You can see that the Chiefs beat the Chargers 38-23. The Redskins, Adrian Peterson went off. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that every single game, but he's showing the league that he still has some juice in his legs. They won 24-6 over the Cardinals. The Broncos, my team, Von Miller went off with 3 sacks. I think 2 forced fumbles as well. They won 27-24. And then we can see that was pretty much it. So guys, if you did enjoy this NFL recap, if I did miss any stories, if you guys want me to go more in depth with anything that I talked about today, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you want me to continue these NFL recaps, slap a like on this button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the MLB recap coming later today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, never forget, peace out.